Have you ever wondered why some portraits pop with emotion while others fall completely flat? Or why some portraits draw you in and make you feel something while others can seem just boring? It's not just about perfect light or getting your subject to smile. Those can be important, but there's other ideas and techniques that we can use to help enhance our portraits. Today I'm sharing one simple trick plus some more game-changing techniques, I think, that will transform your portraits from ordinary snapshots to something a little bit more moving. These are easy to use, they're free, and you don't need extra equipment, and they can instantly change how you see people and how you shoot people and how your results can move people. Hi, I'm Rebecca Kowalski, and I'm here to help you create meaningful photography that moves people. Today, we're talking about portraits. And portraits are really important because in one moment, we're capturing a personality, a soul, or something essential about a person that comes from connection. We want authentic images. We all want to create great portraits, whether it's family, friends, strangers, or clients, or cameras, or a smartphone, but we sometimes get stuck. So what is it? How do we get stuck? Most photographers start by shooting eye level. Now, this isn't wrong, and it can create nice portraits, but here's what happens. We can miss other amazing opportunities. Many times I photograph people in that safe eye level position. The lighting was good and the portraits came out okay, but they didn't always feel alive. They sometimes lacked spark or a unique angle or an emotional punch that we want our portraits to have. So I realized that, as I've emphasized, it's not about the latest gear or chasing that perfect golden hour light, though we know from our past videos that we've learned together that light is everything, but we have a simpler idea that we often forget about with portraits. Move around. Don't stand in one place. This obvious act of changing our physical position relative to our subject is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful and overlooked tricks for instantly elevating portraits from simply nice to a little bit more wow. So it's about perspective and finding that unique angle that might tell a richer story. Eye-level portraits are safe, and they can be boring, not always, but that's how we see the world every day. So a photo from that view often does not feel special. But when we change our perspective, we change the feeling of a portrait. A low angle, especially with children or anybody, makes them feel and look more powerful and heroic. A higher angle shooting down at a subject can evoke vulnerability or intimacy. Different angles create different emotional relationships and they add depth to our story. Our perspective as the photographer literally can give over the emotion of a story. I shot film at the beginning of my career before there was even digital. And before we even dive into techniques, I want to talk about film. I use digital for almost all of my professional event work and portraiture. But when I went back to my folders and I went looking for images to share with you today, many of the portraits I'm sharing with you were taken with a very simple camera. This is a Yashica D120. It takes 120 film and the negative is 6x6. And I don't use it as often as I'd like because it's not that practical for my event work and my portraiture work, but I quite often bring it along or I use it when I'm not under any time constraints. And I want to use it more. There's not many places in the area where I can even bring the film to be developed, but there is something so special in the essence of using film. Also, I sometimes use my 35mm Konica film camera. Neither of them are the most technically advanced, and I really had to practice with the light meter and getting used to the process. So as you look at these, I think you'll also feel that no matter how the lighting was or the imperfection that is presented in these images, I think they speak volumes. There's something about film in and of itself that has emotion built right into it. And this proves to me that meaningful portraits aren't about expensive gear or everything being exactly right. They're about connection, perspective, a look, and also it encourages us to try various methods and different mediums. So let's talk about getting down low. When you kneel or sit or even lie on the ground, you make your subjects look a little bit larger than life. And this works amazingly for kids and pets. and it makes and helps our individuals stand out, especially if you're putting them against a dramatic sky. So you have here children and couples just looking a little more powerful, or simply being on the same level as the children. When I lay on the ground and I get images of kids laying on the ground on the same level as I am, there is an authenticity, I think, that you can't get in other ways. And it's about meeting them, eye to eye. Now we go the opposite direction and we move high up. On the flip side, when you stand on a chair or climb on a hill or a stone above your subject, there's some kind of intimacy and or vulnerability. This angle also simplifies the backgrounds, it reduces distractions, and it can capture a wider scene with your subject as the focal point. So take a look at these images, try this out. It can work great for couples, for groups, or even individuals. It gives us a sense of isolation and lets us look at our subject in a more intimate way. There's somewhat of a contemplative portrait that happens, that when we're looking down and we see this private and personal space. Now, one of the methods that I love using is shooting through elements. This technique is so artistic, and we take a foreground element, and you see here in some of these images, I'm shooting through flowers or trees or bushes or a little water fountain, or even this thick glass that fades the woman. All of these add depth, mystery, and again, intimacy. Even the bokeh, the out of focus parts, make the viewer feel like a secret observer of our subject. It creates layers and draws the eye exactly to where we want it to go. We also can move around and change our angle towards the subject. We don't always have to shoot head on. Look at this older couple that I shot. I photographed them from behind, and the intimacy is clear and very private. There's something deeply personal about this angle that adds another dimension to portraiture, even when we're not seeing our subject head on. Now, we all know the compositional rules of framing and leading lines. We use framing in so much of our photography. It's an easy and effective compositional tool. We have doorways, archways, anything that creates a frame around our subject and it draws our attention to it. Same thing for leading lines. This is another compositional tool that we use. Here we're using steps or pathways to help also frame our viewer and lead our viewer into the subject. Our eye isn't drawn anywhere else. The lines guide us exactly where we want them to look. What's another idea? Focusing on details. Sometimes there's powerful photographs with just details, like we talked about in other videos, focusing on hands. They tell stories. Look at the maternity images here, the hands, the gesture, the connection between partners. Sometimes the story can be told in these small details. Think of locations, meaningful locations, not just pretty locations. Take your subjects to places they love, places that move them. When people are somewhere that's meaningful to them, their emotions flow easier, they relax, and their authentic selves emerge. The connection to place becomes part of the portrait's story, as in this couple that came to visit Jerusalem, and any other place that means something to someone. We also can photograph somebody with an object that they love. The young boy with his guitar, that's also a film shot. The scholar with his book, the doctor in his office, the boy with his bike. These portraits show what matters to someone, and again, that relaxes them, that brings out their true personality, their essence. Think ahead and try to create these kinds of situations. What about silhouettes, where we don't see the face, we don't see the person head on, or clearly they're in shadow, but we still get a powerful story? Sometimes just the shape and gesture tell us everything we need to know about the emotion of the moment. There's also mood, not something tangible, joy. It might be one of the most important ideas, to have fun. Create a fun atmosphere for couples, for families, or even for an individual. There's something magical about catching people in their element. They might not always be looking at you, the photographer, but the viewer is completely engaged with them and their joy and their feelings in the moment. When your clients or your subjects later look at these portraits, they'll feel what they were feeling in that moment. They'll see themselves in a real way. And here's the key. Your subjects don't always need eye contact with the camera. Sometimes it's crucial, and sometimes it's more powerful to catch them interacting with their partner, their child, or lost in their own moment of contemplation. Create a variety of portraits so you cover a lot of different parts of the person. So here's your challenge this week. For every portrait you take, don't just stand there, move around. Get low, get a little higher, shoot through something, walk around your subject, experiment with different perspectives. I promise you'll see results with more depth, more emotion, and more creativity. And use the other techniques of going to different places, bringing objects along. Focus on the connection and the authenticity, not so much the gear and the technicality. Drop a comment below, tell me what angle you shot at. Share a photo that you took using one of these ideas. I read every single comment, and I love seeing your work. If you're ready for more simple, soulful photography insights that can truly transform your work to be far deeper, subscribe to the channel, join our growing community. I'm here to help you see and create art everywhere. And speaking of community, we're having a YouTube live session where I'll review and critique about 5 photos that you guys send to me, to my email, photos@imagesthroughtime.com. We'll talk about what's working and how to make images even better and celebrate some of the good choices that you made. Send your images in, and if we don't cover your image this time, we'll hopefully get to it in a future session. Again, I want to thank everyone who's reached out about one-on-one sessions, people that have signed up to go with me on Zoom and go over their images so that we can help you grow by looking maybe a little more objectively at your images. I think that we both benefit from these personalized coaching calls. And if you're interested in taking your photography to the next level with customized guidance, all the information is in the description below. And of course, I would love for you to explore my fine art prints and follow me on Instagram at Rebecca Co Photo, where we share together images, insights, and daily ideas. All the links are in the description. Someone approached me years ago that was following me on Instagram and commissioned me to create a book and publish it of images from all over Israel, a combination of landscape and street photography. And I have 50 to 60 copies left, and I'm offering it to you guys at pretty much approximately the cost of shipping for $20. This is the book. I think it's something that you guys could enjoy. I want to thank everybody for being part of this community. It's growing. We're learning together. I want you guys to go out and shoot some portraits, have a great time doing it. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about connection, perspective, and capturing the soul of your subject. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great time shooting.